Sueharu found out that Kuroha had lied about losing her memory, and he felt upset with her. Kuroha explained that she did not have any bad intentions behind her lie. She asked if Sueharu had been shocked. He admitted that he had cried after hearing about her supposed memory loss. Then he asked what her real reason was for lying to him, but Kuroha just gave an embarrassed smile. Sueharu could not understand why he was being toyed with by her again, and it seemed like he could no longer trust Kuroha. He asked if she was laughing at him because she had successfully tricked him, but Kuroha denied it. Sueharu repeated his question about her reason for lying. Instead of answering, Kuroha asked him to be a little more perceptive. However, Sueharu said he could not understand if she did not explain it to him. Kuroha mocked him for only understanding things when they were spelled out verbally and even called him stupid. Sueharu called Kuroha wicked, and she responded that it sounded like he just said a taboo word. Then they started arguing. Sueharu demanded that Kuroha apologize, saying he would listen to her reasons but might not forgive her. Kuroha said that if Sueharu wanted to apologize to her, she would listen. He was surprised that even though he was the one who got tricked, he was the one who had to apologize. Kuroha claimed it was because he was not perceptive and said a taboo word again. They kept arguing until Kuroha hit Sueharu with her bag. Sueharu was still puzzled because he had done nothing wrong, yet she treated him like that. That night, Sueharu thought that maybe he had been too harsh toward Kuroha. He worried that he had made her angry and that she might take revenge. He decided that he should apologize to Kuroha soon. His good side told him that Kuroha had lied so they could make up, in other words, because she liked him. But his bad side questioned that if she really liked him, why would she reject him? He felt his negative thoughts made sense and wondered what Kuroha was really thinking. He believed that if they could talk calmly, he would definitely forgive her. Meanwhile, Kuroha was also thinking about Sueharu, whom she considered stupid. She wondered why he could not understand her and even feared that he might choose Maria or Shirakusa over her. Talking to Sueharu at that time only led to fighting, so she asked if someone else could mediate for them. At the same time, Mitsuru informed Shirakusa that recently, Shirakusa's position had fallen behind because, somehow, Kuroha and Sueharu's relationship had returned to how it was before the Love Shot Festival. So even though Shirakusa's dream had come true, her chances in love were declining. Shirakusa immediately called Tetsuhiko to ask if he was still working with Kuroha. Tetsuhiko said their partnership ended after the advertising contest was over. Shirakusa thought Tetsuhiko was neutral at that point, but Tetsuhiko said he was actually on the interesting side. Shirakusa then proposed an idea to Tetsuhiko. The next day, Tetsuhiko and his friends held a celebration for Maria joining the Ultramarine Alliance. Tetsuhiko explained the system and organization of Ultramarine. First, there were official members and reserve members. Official members had the right to propose projects, choose, and veto. They were also required to participate in the selected projects. If they were unable to participate, they did not have to vote. However, if someone exercised their veto right, the project would be cancelled. Those who did not have these three rights were reserve members like Rana. Tetsuhiko said new members were decided through voting by the official members. Sueharu asked why there had to be such selective rules. Tetsuhiko explained that 80% of people who wanted to join were male. Sueharu said it was good that Tetsuhiko had prepared for that. Maria added that 20% of applicants were female. Sueharu guessed that maybe the women were interested in Tetsuhiko, but Maria said that was not a problem. Tetsuhiko emphasized that they had to be careful when choosing members. After discussing this, Tetsuhiko mentioned a project proposal involving a swimsuit event. He had connections in Okinawa, so they could swim there because the weather was still warm. The budget would come from the profits of the advertising contest. The goal was to promote the Ultramarine Alliance, and even if they could not sing or dance, it was important to attract attention. The song and choreography were already prepared. Sueharu agreed and said that Tetsuhiko was indeed a genius. Unfortunately, Kuroha didn't agree with wearing swimsuits. Sueharu immediately begged Kuroha, saying that swimsuits were every guy's dream. Hearing that, Kuroha called Sueharu perverted. Maria said it wasn't that she disagreed, but she felt uncomfortable being asked to wear a swimsuit. Shirakusa then pointed out that this meant Maria didn't mind singing and dancing. Maria replied that if she had to do it, she was confident in her abilities. She then asked Shirakusa what she thought, only to find out that Shirakusa also disagreed. According to Maria, it seemed like the project was at risk of being cancelled even without anyone using a veto, so it would be better to save the veto for later. Unfortunately, Shirakusa said she didn't trust any of them. Although she was complaining at the moment, she might eventually agree, and if that happened, the worst case would be a project getting approved. Because of that, she wanted to revise the project to remove the swimsuit part, and if not, she would use her veto right. She also blamed Tetsuhiko for proposing a project that could get vetoed, especially since she didn't want to use her veto lightly. Tetsuhiko then revised the swimsuit part. Finally, Tetsuhiko asked to hold a poll, and it turned out more people approved the project. Kuroha was curious who actually voted yes. Shirakusa wanted to ask if Kuroha had stayed quiet to secretly approve it, since Kuroha and Shueharu were fighting earlier, so it wouldn't be surprising if Kuroha was looking for a chance to make up. Maria said that argument made sense, but Kuroha insisted she was not the one who approved it. Tetsuhiko asked everyone not to start blaming each other. The project was approved, and they planned to go to Okinawa next Saturday for 3 days and 2 nights. According to Tetsuhiko, that weekend was the best choice. But Kuroha said she couldn't go because her parents were going on a business trip, and if she wasn't home, only her younger sisters would be there. Tetsuhiko suggested that Kuroha could bring her younger sisters and treat them as backup members since he honestly needed extra help, and they would be responsible for the expenses. Sueharu agreed, saying it was better than bringing strangers. Kuroha said unfortunately Midori had a tow activity on Saturday and Aoi had a club activity. Tetsuhiko then proposed that Kuroha and her sisters could follow on Sunday, so they would shoot on Monday. Kuroha asked if the schedule could be pushed back again, but Tetsuhiko said there were no more 3-day breaks in October, and they couldn't rely on good weather in November. Kuroha suggested maybe the location could be closer to where they lived, so they wouldn't have to go to Okinawa, but Tetsuhiko said he wanted to capture summer memories. The alliance was just formed, so they didn't have any summer memories yet. Besides, it was the summer of their second year of high school, meaning their last summer without exams. Tetsuhiko then asked if anyone else couldn't come. Maria said she would do her best to make it. Meanwhile, Shirakusa and Sueharu said they were willing. Shirakusa suggested she could invite Meiko too, because she was sure Meiko would agree if Shirakusa asked her. Tetsuhiko approved. Unfortunately, Meiko refused when Shirakusa called her. Tetsuhiko reminded them not to force anyone who didn't want to participate. Kuroha asked about her younger sisters. Tetsuhiko said if they didn't want to join, then Kuroha would have to cancel too. Sueharu seemed excited about the trip to Okinawa. Kuroha reminded him not to forget that there would be midterm exams next week. Sueharu had done poorly on the last exam, and it could be serious if he didn't do something. But Sueharu pretended not to hear what Kuroha said. Kuroha then asked Tetsuhiko to add study sessions for those with low grades. Tetsuhiko couldn't refuse because he didn't want the club to be the cause of anyone's grades dropping. Sueharu said that he was the only one with bad grades, so did that mean he was the only one who had to study? Kuroha replied that Midori was also about to take the university entrance exam, so she would join the study session too. Then Kuroha asked if Maria was going to take the entrance exam for that school. Maria, quite innocently, said that she wasn't taking the exam but would use money and influence to secure her admission. Sueharu warned that it was risky for the younger sister's idol to say something like that, but Maria just smiled. Sueharu asked how Maria's grades were at her previous school. Maria said her grades were too embarrassing to share with others. Then Maria asked how bad Sueharu's grades were, but Sueharu just stuck his tongue out, which made Tetsuhiko hit him lightly. Maria suggested changing the topic and asked if they had already decided where they would stay. Tetsuhiko said that Suchiro had lent them a villa and a private beach. Hearing this, Kuroha realized that Shirakusa was working with Tetsuhiko, but Shirakusa denied it. Kuroha also guessed that Shirakusa had added a swimsuit to the project proposal and then erased it so the plan would get approved. Basically, exactly as Shirakusa wanted. Sueharu thought Kuroha was being too hostile towards Shirakusa. Kuroha wondered why Sueharu trusted Shirakusa more than her words. Hearing this, Sueharu asked if Kuroha trusted him, and if she did, then she should be honest with him without any tricks. That night, Oa came over to Sueharu's house to take Kuroha's place. Oa cleaned while singing softly. She was surprised when she realized Sueharu had heard her singing, but Sueharu said he hadn't. Oa realized that Sueharu was lying to her, which made her feel embarrassed. Sueharu apologized and said he didn't mean to tease her. Oa admitted it was her fault for accidentally singing out loud. Sueharu found it strange because it was easier to make up with Aoi than with Kuroha. Sueharu invited Aoi to eat together, and Aoi really enjoyed the delicious meal he cooked. Aoi asked if Sueharu was fighting with Kuroha because Kuroha's behavior had become strange. Sueharu said it wasn't something he could talk about with Aoi, but Aoi insisted, saying she respected both Sueharu and Kuroha and wanted to help. Sueharu said he was a little embarrassed because it was about romance, but he opened up to Aoi. He asked Aoi who she thought was at fault between him and Kuroha. Aoi said the first thing that came to her mind was that even a dog wouldn't want to get involved in a married couple's fight. According to her, Sueharu and Kuroha's fights were full of love. Just hearing about it was exhausting. She said honestly, both of them were at fault or maybe just indifferent. She thought it would be better if Sueharu and Kuroha made up quickly and just started dating. Sueharu was confused about why they needed to date if they were fighting. Oi explained that her previous comment included that as well. Sueharu said that Kuroha didn't want to share her true feelings with him because she was hiding something, which was why she lied to him. Oi guessed if Sueharu doubted Kuroha, but Sueharu said it was the other way around. Kuroha was the one lying because she doubted him. Oi said not everyone could open their hearts as much as Sueharu did, and that Sueharu was the type of person who couldn't lie. Still, she thought it was very hard to reach Sueharu's level of honesty. Sueharu then asked if that meant Oi blamed him. Oi says she blamed Kuroha too and understood her feelings very well and hoped Sueharu could be big-hearted and accept her. According to Awa, Kuroha cared more about results while Sueharu focused more on the process and method, and that was the only thing they didn't see eye to eye on. Oi asked if Sueharu liked Kuroha or if there was someone else he liked. Sueharu said he didn't really know himself. According to Aoi, when it comes to romance, choosing a partner with only half-hearted feelings will end badly. Sueharu understood this well because he had a real-life example, Tetsuhiko. Oi mentioned that she and her younger sister would follow to Okinawa on the second day. She advised Sueharu to be careful with the magic of group trips, explaining that sometimes a young couple who originally had nothing between them would end up close because of the mood during the trip. Since Sueharu was currently having a fight with Kuroha, if that really happened, he would definitely regret it. Sueharu was curious why Aoi gave him such advice. Oi apologized if what she said sounded strange. Sueharu thanked her and promised to remember her advice. Oi then asked if the girls in the Ultramarine Alliance were all beautiful, and she pleaded with Sueharu to be careful. Sueharu asked if Aoi thought he was easily tempted. Oi said she didn't completely think that way. Meanwhile, Tetsuhiko recalled his conversation with Tsuchiro in the car. Tsuchiro said he had been investigating both Tetsuhiko and Rena. Tetsuhiko explained that Rena didn't know he was her stepbrother, so he asked Tsuchiro not to tell her. Tsuchiro had already guessed that Tetsuhiko knew and promised to keep his secret. Suddenly, Shirakusa called him and said that the meeting that day had gone according to plan and she thanked Tetsuhiko. Tetsuhiko asked what Shirakusa's goal was. She said it had never changed, she wanted Sueharu to confess to her. Tetsuhiko said that sounded difficult. Shirakusa got annoyed and said she was Sueharu's first love. According to her, first love only happens once and it's something special. She also said she had finished planning how to win Sueharu's heart on a day when Kuroha wouldn't be around, and she told Tetsuhiko to just watch her counterattack. After hanging up, Tetsuhiko thought the Ultramarine Alliance would fall apart if Sueharu successfully got a girlfriend, so he wanted things to stay balanced. He was also curious about Maria's moves and couldn't wait to see what would happen next. That day was the day they were going to Okinawa. Shirakusa asked Eri to drive the car, replacing Tsuchiro, who couldn't join. Sueharu was stunned to see Shirakusa standing right in front of him. Eri said Shirakusa was independent, unlike her younger sister Maria, who couldn't sleep when staying overnight at work before calling her older sister. Maria felt embarrassed because Eri said that in front of Sueharu. Eri whispered to Sueharu, asking if Shirakusa was his type. Sueharu chose not to comment on that. Then Eri asked if Sueharu still liked Kuroha. Sueharu was surprised by the question. Eri asked if Maria was cute and Sueharu admitted that she was indeed adorable. Unexpectedly, Eri warned him not to make Maria cry, which definitely shocked Sueharu. Sueharu, Maria, and Shirakusa went grocery shopping. Maria offered to make whatever Sueharu wanted to eat. Shirakusa asked if celebrities really couldn't cook. Maria said cooking was an easy thing for her and asked if Shirakusa couldn't cook. Shirakusa said that wasn't true, so Maria and Shirakusa agreed to have a cooking contest. When they were about to go grocery shopping at the supermarket, Maria and Shirakusa agreed to have a cooking competition. Sueharu felt confused about what he should do. Tetsuhiko said that what Sueharu had to do was simply eat whatever Maria and Shirakusa made. He even joked that he would help bury Sueharu if he ended up dying from it. Sueharu then asked Tetsuhiko to eat with him so they could die together, but Tetsuhiko refused. Eri arrived and lightly teased them for arguing. She suggested that they should first decide on a theme for the cooking contest. Tetsuhiko proposed comparing their dishes to local ramen, but Eri called that idea boring. Shirakusa suggested having fried chicken as the theme, and Eri proposed hot pot instead. Maria was surprised to see Eri buying a lot of sake. Eri explained that she wouldn't have to drive anymore once they arrived at the villa, and that the sake was meant to last for 2 days. Rena joined them as well with the task of recording their activities. At that moment, Maria invited Rana to play with her. Rana mentioned that she had never been on a school trip before, so she didn't really know where to go. Maria then asked Rana to choose, which made Rana happy because Maria was so thoughtful towards her. When Tetsuhiko noticed Shueharu deep in thought, he guessed that Shueharu was probably thinking about Kuroha. He found it strange since Shueharu and Kuroha usually made up quickly after fights, but Shueharu said this time was different. Tetsuhiko commented that Shueharu had become complicated, even though the cause was the usual problem and their relationship was getting worse. Shueharu then asked what Tetsuhiko would do if he were in his position. Tetsuhiko said he would conquer everything and build a harem. Shueharu called Tetsuhiko useless, but Tetsuhiko said he never told Shueharu to hurt any girls. Instead, he encouraged him to make everyone happy. Even if the outcome might seem a little unrealistic, wouldn't their happiness be what mattered most to Shueharu? In other words, that was a form of love and kindness towards humanity. Shueharu was shocked at how twisted Tetsuhiko's way of thinking was. He was sure that if Tetsuhiko died, it would be because a woman stabbed him. Tetsuhiko joked that would be an honor for a man. Shueharu got scared because he actually understood the dark meaning behind Tetsuhiko's words. Suddenly, Shueharu heard footsteps but found no one around. He was relieved that no one overheard their conversation. Feeling hot, Tetsuhiko suggested they go get some cold drinks. It turned out that Rana and Maria had been listening to their conversation the whole time, but Rana said she didn't really care about what they were talking about. Maria pointed out that compared to Tetsuhiko, Shueharu still thought about common sense and ethics, which was why he rejected Tetsuhiko's idea. However, she also admitted there was a part of Shueharu that envied Tetsuhiko's honesty about his desires. According to Maria, learning that Shueharu actually wanted a harem was a new discovery for her. Rana then asked what the point of knowing something like that was. Maria asked Rana for her opinion on Maria's own position. Rana said that in terms of romance, Maria clearly lost to Kuroha and Shirakusa. Rana emphasized that she wasn't talking about physical attraction. Maria admitted that she was indeed behind Kuroha and Shirakusa, but not by much. She believed that was because Shueharu didn't see her as a potential partner yet. So Maria's best option was to make Shueharu turn his attention to her, while Kuroha and Shirakusa were busy competing for him. Rana said that usually the concept of a harem is to choose everyone, but it can also mean not choosing all of them. Maria described her plan as dividing Shueharu into 3 parts. Soon, they all arrived at Shirakusa's father's villa. Upon arrival, Shirakusa asked what Shueharu thought about the place. Shueharu immediately knelt down to thank Shirakusa for bringing him there. Shirakusa felt awkward about his exaggerated reaction. Tetsuhiko said that Shueharu was weak in front of people who had money and power. Rana commented that ordinary people naturally feel weak around great people. Shueharu told them to stop talking like that and even scolded Rana for insulting him. Eri then stepped in to calm the situation. She asked Shirakusa to open the door and told the guys to carry their things inside the villa. Everyone was amazed when they saw the inside of the villa. Shirakusa explained that all the rooms were located on the first floor. There were 5 rooms in total, and each room was equipped with 2 beds. She then began assigning the rooms. Maria hoped to share a room with Shueharu. Shirakusa said that Maria would share a room with Eri, while Shueharu would share with Tetsuhiko. Shirakusa herself would share with Rana, and the remaining 2 rooms would be for Kuroha and the other girls. Everyone agreed with this room arrangement. The bathroom was on the 3rd floor, and the terrace there offered a beautiful view, though it looked even better under a starry sky. At that time, they were all gathered on the balcony, relaxing together. Shueharu suggested to Shirakusa that everyone should wear swimsuits and take a bath together, but Shirakusa immediately stopped him. Tetsuhiko then remarked that it seemed possible to jump off the balcony into the pool. Without warning, he pushed Shueharu, causing him to fall into the pool. Meanwhile, Kuroha was practicing her dance moves and making study notes for Shueharu because she realized her role was somewhat like that of an older sister to him. Akane praised Kuroha's dedication, even though Shueharu was probably busy playing around and likely taking advantage of Kuroha's absence to skip studying. Kuroha imagined Shueharu being approached by Maria, who was wearing a revealing swimsuit. She pictured Maria sticking close to him and teasing him endlessly. Kuroha immediately looked upset and intimidating. Akane quickly called Aoi, asking her to come home from club activities right away because she wasn't confident she could handle Kuroha alone. At that moment, Shueharu was playing volleyball with Maria, while Rana was recording their activities. Tetsuhiko told Rana to join the game instead since he forbade filming while wearing swimsuits. Rana promptly turned off her camera and removed some layers of clothing. She was wearing a very cute swimsuit underneath. Maria complimented Raina, saying she looked adorable in it.